Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome to the evening edition of Markets with Morning Joe. I am your host, as usual, Joe. I am doing an evening video for you tonight because I haven't been able to do morning videos. I've been really trying to focus on the trading sessions in the morning and preparing for that. So, my apologies for not getting out anything throughout the week. But nights and weekends kind of work for me. We'll see. I might change the name. Who knows? But I do like the name. Anyway, I made a video for you guys yesterday. Actually, I made a couple of videos for you yesterday. If you haven't seen them, I would say go back and watch them because they're pretty important. And I was pretty spot on a lot of things, including Bitcoin. So let's get started with Bitcoin here. I mentioned yesterday that yesterday was trading. When I made the video in the morning, it was probably around 85, 86,000, somewhere around. Hold on a second. This is the daily. Okay, so that was Saturday right here. Saturday, Sunday. Well, it was right. It was right around here at 85,000 on Sunday morning when I made the video, and then shortly after I made the video, it basically collapsed. And I told you guys that it would stop first at this support, then this support right here, and then finally the 78,000-ish support line from last week, or I think 2 weeks ago. And it has finally broken below that support, and now it finds support in this area right here from November. So that will probably be short-lived. I mean, we might get a minor bounce tomorrow morning, but I would say we're probably not going to go much higher than 78. Maybe if we're, if anybody's lucky, 80, 81,000, and then it's going to continue to drop. I expect this to go lower. So at least I would say it's going to go from, let's say, 93, 93 down to 84. That's 9,000. So 9,000 from here, 86, 76, 77. What did I do? I was looking at some numbers, some lines earlier. 99 down to 78. That would be 22. 22 from here. I really should get my shit together. 22 from here. 95, 20, 75, 72, 72, 73. I think that's where it's going, probably here. Sorry for the delay, guys. But yeah, it'll probably fall right down into this area right here is the next level of support. Okay. I think I was doing it on an hourly chart, actually. That's probably where I was getting it from. Yeah, probably. Anyways, I'm not going to keep wasting time. So that's the next level of support. I believe it's going to 72, 73,000. And then it'll continue to go further down after that. All right. I'm not going to get into Ethereum or the other ones. They're just going to follow it down. And same thing goes with MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy found the 200-day moving average finally. But I believe this is going to continue to go further. I expect this thing to head down to the 180, 170, probably, honestly, eventually lower than that. So, MicroStrategy is tied with Bitcoin. So whatever happens to Bitcoin, I think this thing's going to get wiped out. Probably not forever. Same thing goes with Bitcoin. I mean, hopefully Bitcoin makes its way higher eventually. I'd like to invest in it. But all right. So a couple of other things. Yesterday I talked about Nat Gas. I said that Nat Gas was heading up to about $5. And in the overnight session or early morning session, believe it, look at this. Yesterday, this was today, but overnight. Let me get rid of this line. I'm going to go to my arrow. It put in a topping tail, a daily topping tail. So this means a daily top has been made, at least for short term, right? This is still I got into this a lot more yesterday, so I believe Nat Gas is going higher, but I think it topped out for the time being. It'll probably retest somewhere. It could even retest this high and come back down, but it's funny that it put in a top early morning or late night. I don't know what happened. I guess there was an accident somewhere. I have no idea, but I haven't checked the news. But it's funny that it hit it yesterday after I made the video that it was going max out around $5 or so, and it tapped it and came back real quick. But it's not over for nat gas. Nat gas has a lot more to go. Silver and gold pulled back today, just like how I kind of mentioned yesterday with gold. I had a feeling gold was going to pull back, but silver really, I was hoping silver would hold up, and I still think it will. It's still sitting on a lot of support here, but you know, if these markets sell off any further and fear sets in, then it's all hands off deck, right? So everything will sell, including gold and silver. So we'll see. Hopefully, silver. I don't think silver is going to come down much further. If it does, it's got a lot of support in the 30.5 area. So I'm still very, very bullish on both gold and silver, but especially silver, and nat gas. And um, oil's getting clobbered big time, but that's what Trump wants. So finally, this past few days, it's been breaking below this trend line. This is a long-term trend line that I've had. I've had this trend line forever, and I honestly thought oil was going to break below this way back here. So I've been watching this since September, and I watched it go sideways for a while, then come back up, and so nothing ever goes down or up in a straight line, but this is definitely going to go lower for a little while. But that's what Trump wants. Qs and spiders got annihilated today. Another big selling, like it was nonstop selling today, just how I expected it to be. Because I told you in the video from yesterday that the weekly close, or was it the daily close? Oh, I think it was on the SPX actually, but um, let's see here. This weekly close below here. Yeah, right. Okay, so I said there was going to be an opportunity for more selling. A lot of people thought the low was in because it went all the way down to the 50-day moving average on the weekly. But guess what? That wasn't the low. All right. But I knew that because where this closed right here, this part of the body closed below this green bar. So I knew there was more downside. Now, possibly, maybe for short term, I think maybe we'll see how tomorrow goes. We might have a bounce. Okay. Um, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. And there's so much. I mean, some of these stocks are getting absolutely annihilated. The Qs, especially because it's all tech, right? I mean, people were hoping that the selling was over at the 200-day moving average. A lot of these people in the investment world have no clue about technicals, and it's funny. It's unbelievable how successful they get, yet they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Isn't that funny, huh? Anyway, that's why you need to learn for yourself. You need to, do your own studying and research and have your own conviction. Thank God I finally have learned my technicals. All right, enough bragging. SMH semiconductors, I think, have lower to go. I don't think the selling is done in the semiconductors. Might maybe kind of get a little pullback from here, but in the after hours right now, Nvidia's selling lower. Um, or actually, it was selling lower. It's past the 8 o'clock now, so after hours are over. But it was trading, I think, around 103, I think. But I think tomorrow we'll see you know we'll see it hit 103. I mean, this morning it hit 105. Yeah, 105. That's Nvidia. Tesla got killed today, man. Tesla went down. What the hell? It went down $40. Went from 253 down to 222, but it closed on Friday at 263. So it went down $40 from Friday's close. If you think that's bad, MicroStrategy was down even further. From Friday, it closed at like 287, and now it's down to 239. So what else? Amazon. Is this the daily? Yeah. So Amazon continues to go lower, although it's found, it's in a pretty decent area. You know, these things can't continue to fall every single day forever and ever. I mean, you see a couple of green days here. So I think this week with the CPI and the PPI, maybe we get some green days, green candles on the charts. Apple, I want to talk about Apple because Apple looks like it hasn't fallen as hard as the other tech stocks. It's been holding up. You know, this was kind of holding up the longest. But if you look here, it kind of has a head and shoulder pattern going here. So here's a head, shoulder, head. And but this head is not over yet. And there's kind of two ways to look at this, right? And I don't know if this could be considered a shoulder right here. If I start from here, let's just say I start from this area up, that's one shoulder. Then this one here is the head, and then this would be the third shoulder. If that's the case, then it's already tagged the neckline, but hasn't broken really yet. It has to close below the neckline. But I think maybe the more accurate head and shoulder pattern is probably this one here. So first would be this one would be the shoulder, head, shoulder, and but this has to come down to here. So this is the neckline. So we'd have to see Apple come break below 218. Okay, we'll see. But I expect Apple to fall. It's going to cut through this support. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's talk about Palantir. I mentioned Palantir yesterday. I said it was going to break below what it was trading at. You know, it was holding at like 79.80. It finally broke below today. Went down as low as 74. Yeah, $74. I took some profits on this today, and I still expect this to go lower. All right. I still expect, I have a long-term trend line that I made, you know, from wherever this was. This was August, and then kind of tags this November. So I think this is going to fall into the mid 60s. All right. So I told you guys yesterday I expect it to go into the mid 70s, then the mid 60s. It's probably going to, you know, kind of get a retrace, bounce a little bit, and then fall even further into the mid 50s. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing fell below the 200-day moving average into the 40s where it belongs. Okay. This thing got fucking way out of control with every other tech stock out there. Meta, I said yesterday I was expecting it to hit 580 from Friday. It didn't go to 580. It went to 600 and then retraced all the way up and closed right below the previous day red bar. And it fucking sold off all day today. So it gapped down like MicroStrategy. I wish I put a short on this on Friday. I just didn't want to risk it just in case. But I had a feeling that that's exactly what was going to happen. And it made its way down to 588. Okay. I think that's what I had here actually. So 741 down to 644. That's 100 points. And then 100 points from here, 688 to 588. So that satisfied that measured move. So it's possible for now, maybe, as you can see, it's into support right here. It's possible that for now I think maybe tomorrow it'll sell off a little bit, but I think I kind of have a feeling the markets are going to bounce a little bit tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens because a lot of really good levels, a lot of measured moves have been getting satisfied. So we'll see if it gets a bounce. If not, and even if it does, I don't really care. Eventually, this thing's coming back down to 570 and lower. Back into the 540 range. So I mean, Facebook went out of control, especially these last couple of months. It was just ridiculous. Home Depot had some AI news this morning, some AI related news that gave it a bid higher today, and it went all the way up into this trend line, right? That I had the neckline. So again, I've got these two trend lines here drawn out for the head and shoulder pattern right here. So I had both of them because I wasn't sure exactly which one would be the more accurate one because you could kind of go with either one of them. But it's funny that it went all the way up into here and it touched that line up there. So I'm guessing that's probably the neckline. But it didn't make it above and it closed below this one as well. And it made a lower low from the day before, which was Friday. So this thing is on. It's going down to 320. Again, you measure from this high, 440, 439, down to here, what is that? 383. So that's $60 basically. 50, 438, call it 440, 380. Yeah, that's almost $60. So I expect it to drop $60 from here, from this, so 320, 323 or so. Okay, maybe if I look at the weekly, there's a 200-day moving average coming in around 336, but by the time it gets there, it's going to get higher. So we'll see. We'll see how low this goes. I would say Home Depot will probably fall at least another 20 points, and I think we'll definitely get to the $330 range. I mean, if it does a full head and shoulder retracement, then yeah, it's just gonna break below this 200-day moving average. AMD is getting closer and closer and closer to my $92 trend line. Let me see here. Let me set this for you guys. I'm almost out of time, but no, that's not it. Hang on. AMD. Was it a monthly? Yeah, there you go. All right. So let me see if it's from here. Let's just call it from the low right here across these two. Yeah, somewhere around there. So I think, well, probably lower than 92. I look at so many charts, and every time I log into this, it changes my trend line. So it's hard. I had a trend line set, and I swear it was around $92. But if I stick to this one here, it brings it down even lower. But I think, yeah, we might see AMD around $82 eventually. We'll see. We'll see what happens with AMD. SoFi. I took profits on SoFi today. This thing fell quite a bit today, but it came into that 200-day moving average on the daily. So I felt like, you know what? I'm going to take some profits. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to take it. If it gets a bounce this week, I'll short it again. It's going lower. Same thing with Hood and HIMS. Okay, real quick on Hood. This thing, it went from 66, $67 down to 44. So let's call it $22. 55 minus 22. That's 35, $33. I mean, it's almost there. So again, I think tomorrow this is going to satisfy that measured move. I mean, it's almost into the 200-day moving average. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is at 31.50. So I wouldn't be surprised if it tags this and goes higher. That's a good level, I think, on Hood. Hood's been fucking clobbered. Let's talk about UPS. I'll make it the last one. I told you guys UPS was heading up to $121, $122, and then higher. Well, guess what? It tagged that today, 123, almost 124 today. I took profits on that as well. And you can see it retraced, and it put in a daily topping tail. So that means it topped out for the day. So I expect this to come back down a little bit, maybe in the 117 range, and I'll buy it again, and we'll head higher. And this time we're going to head up to the 129, 130 area. 3M actually had a good day today. So we'll see what happens, man. I want to believe that this thing is going to go higher, but it's been rough. Just same thing with Baba. Baba, it looks like it wants to go higher, but I thought the same thing with SoFi, and then SoFi got killed. We'll see what happens with those two stocks. American Express is getting killed with the rest of the financials, but that's coming into some pretty good support too. So we'll see how that goes this week with JP Morgan and a couple other financials. But that's it, guys. That's for tonight. Appreciate it. Hope this video helps you guys out. Be careful out there, and hope you're enjoying these videos. If so, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much, and good evening to you all. Take care.